want to go back up a little?
Do you happen to have an extra one of those sheets?
Yes.
Here. I'm Jeremy. We got it.
We got it. Okay.
Are we on?
Yeah. We are. Yes.
Do you want to move the chair over, Scott? Move the chair over so you can sit. We begin with the 23rd Psalm. Adonai roi lo achzan binod shayar b'tzeini alamei menuchot yenaleini nashi yashovei yancheni b'magelei tzadak yanacheni b'magelei tzadak leman neshamo gam ki elach begeit salmavet lo irara ki ata imadi shivetecha umishanetecha heima yanachamuni ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged zorai dishanta v'Hashem en roshi kosi revaya ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni kol yemei chayai kol yemei chayai v'shaveti beveit Adonai leorach yamim Adonai roi lo achzan Adonai roi lo The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Marcy, we're putting the ribbon, we've given you the ribbon now on behalf of your sisters. If you can put it on a lapel. We are so sorry for the loss and the circumstances of this loss. I know that you all feel very far away right now, and with this act of putting the ribbon upon her lapel, we hope to bring your whole family into this circle. And as Scott puts it on you, you'll then, Scott, I'll ask you also to tear it a little bit. Baruch Dayan Hamet, and as we tear this ribbon, we say, so is our hearts torn. It's a real tribute to your mother, grandmother, mother-in-law, that the family all wanted to come forward with words, that everybody wanted to say their memory, their expression of love. It is so beautiful, and the family has asked me to read all these words on behalf of the family. So I begin with Arden, Stacy, and Marcy. What does being a mother mean? Being a mom is more than just giving birth to a child. A mother is someone who gives up her entire life and devotes herself to raise her children. Being a mother means being loving, supportive, patient, selfless, and helping her children with anything that life throws their way. Being a mother means building self-esteem, supporting dreams, and unconditionally loving. All these qualities describe our mother V to a T. Our mother Vita was a wonderful mother, devoted grandmother, a proud great-grandmother. She took great pride in each and every one of us, especially the grandchildren, spending as much time as possible with each of them. Everybody loved Grandma and were so happy when they were with her. Our mom and dad were married for 55 years. And I know it's their anniversary period right now. They did everything together. Were inseparable, whether it was taking the train downtown to their offices every day, going out to coffee, to TJ Maxx, or watching movies together. As a matter of fact, they were so enamored by movie stars that they began to write them letters. Somehow, in our parents' true style, they befriended many of these celebrities. This was an amazing feat because our parents were simple, hardworking people, and yet, in holiday, they were known as the Lisneks, and many celebrities knew them. They got themselves invited to many Hollywood award ceremonies and celebrity parties. This was ideal for our mom, as she loved to get all dolled up and be glamorous. It's a beautiful image that I have in my head. Our parents loved to travel, and as children we were taken all over the world, fostering love of travel in all of us. So much so that Arden went to travel into the travel industry and became a partner in the owner of Fisher Travel. Even after we were grown, our parents continued to travel all over the world in true Lisnek style. Our mom loved these adventures and loved experiencing all different cultures. Another one of our mom's passions, beside movies and travel, was reading. She would stay up all hours of the night, engrossed in the bestsellers and newly released novels. Our mother also loved shopping. For a while, she even lived next door to the mall, which was actually perfect for her. Our mom's biggest passion was the love of her family. She was completely selfless. She was a giver in every sense of the word. If someone was in the hospital, she would sleep there at night. She invited our father-in-law, our grandfather, to live with them. I'll just say that again. She invited her father-in-law to live with them. And they, from the day she was married, and he ended up living there for 30 years. In addition, our grandmother, would move in addition, her mother, our grandmother, would move in on weekends. So as you can imagine, it was a very full house. So all the kids, the father-in-law, and the mother. Not only did mom take care of us, our dad and our grandparents, she took care of the whole household. Our mom was the handy one. Our dad was the artist. Our mom did everything around the house, mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow, and never complained. Our dad never learned to drive, so in true mom style, she was the one to learn to drive and be the chauffeur for all 8 of us. Mom was a very private and quiet person who had a wonderful sense of humor. Our mom was happy, fun, upbeat. Even after her stroke 10 years ago, when she became wheelchair bound, she never complained and lived her life to the fullest. We want to thank her, wonderful caregivers, over the past 10 years. They were like family to her. She loved each and every one of them. We also want to thank the critical care team at Beaumont for taking such great care of our mother and making sure she was never alone. And a special thanks to Arden, who devoted herself entirely to our mom over the last 4 years. Without her constant yelling, screaming, and love for her mom, she would never have made it this long. Our mom was part of all of our lives each and every day. We will be missed tremendously. She will be missed tremendously. She will live on through special memories we will carry in our hearts forever. We love you, Mom. We have words from Connie, devoted daughter-in-law. Beautiful, beautiful words. I was just 16 years old when my boyfriend said he wanted me to meet his mom. I was so nervous because Mom and I knew it would because it was his mom, and I knew I had to make a good impression. Jay and Vita came to the coffee shop I waitressed at. Later, Jay told me his mom saw how hard I worked and said I would get a job in the office, so a former receptionist position at H&R Block and in the Sears store, where she also worked in customer service. Jay was always very close to his mom, calling her almost every day, getting her input, and Jerry's too. Then we moved to Boston. We visited Chicago several times a year, went on trips together. The mansions in Rhode Island, outlets in Freeport, Maine, beaches in Cape Cod, markets in Montreal. When Vita and Jerry decided to move from Glenview to Buffalo Grove, they sent us all, I don't know how to pronounce it. Tchotchkes. They sent us all their tchotchkes. So their beloved flea market treasures. Thank you, Marcy. Once our 3 children came along, the travel wasn't as frequent. We still managed a couple of epic road trips, running over people, pushing Perry in a stroller in Disney World, Universal SeaWorld. We visited their home. Leslie kept saying, when am I going to go? When are we getting to our Ami? And having coffee and bagels. One time we were visiting in Chicago, and Jay convinced Jerry that the drive to Charlotte wasn't that long. Everyone else slept soundly. I drove with Vita as my white-knuckled co-pilot through the mountains. They opted to fly home. No more road trips for either of them. But road trips were in the blood of this branch of family. And when Carrie only had, I don't have a second page here, which didn't come through. So I apologize, Connie. There seems to not be a second page, but I do know.
It was really about, because I read it, it was really about how Carrie would come and drove to Chicago and spent lots of time with his grandparents and with his mom. And really when my mom had the stroke, Carrie was here, and he was actually helping us, taking care of our kids, but also helping bring.
Well, Marcy just told me that second page that didn't seem to come out was really about how Carrie was just such a beautiful presence, always helping out. And I know that today, right, is Jay's yahrzeit.
Yes.
And so for her to be buried today on the yahrzeit of her son, around the yahrzeit of her husband, and the anniversary of her husband, that for your family, this is a very difficult and poignant week. In no particular order, the grandchildren kept coming and coming with eulogies. It's so beautiful. far back as I can remember, this is from Leslie, I knew that Grandma was in pain. She walked with a cane. She needed help getting up from the sofa. She became bedbound. I remember how she enjoyed connecting with us, the grandkids, in ways she could, despite her isolating pain. By allowing us to play beauty parlor with her makeup and hair, encouraging us to dress up in the newest clothes for fashion shows. Grandma wanted us to look and feel our best, despite her obviously not feeling great herself. She always asked me, "Are you happy?" and generally wanted to know the answer. I appreciated her love so much. When I remember her now, I forever will picture the grandmother who lived in constant pain like mine, who still found great ways to connect with her family. This from Sydney, Carly, and Jordan. We are so devastated by the loss of our grandma Vita. We have very fond memories with her from when we were little, traveling to Chicago to visit her and our papa. However, we are so grateful that she moved to Michigan and we were able to spend so much time with her over the past 4 years. We loved spending time with her and always made sure we were together for holidays and birthdays, shopping, or just to catch up. Her favorite restaurant, Rusty Bucket, we called it. A barf bucket, their words, not mine. We hated it, but we went always because she loved it. Although we have a million amazing stories and memories, our lively, witty diva grandma, we will each have our own special memories of what we want to share. From Sydney. Every time I saw my grandma, she would love to remind me in a crazy voice about the night she abducted me from my crib when I first came home from the hospital. Her parents were sleeping. They had no idea that I spent the night sleeping on her chest. When they woke up, they thought I was missing, really, but I was snuggled with my grandma. This started our special bond. We had a lot of the same interests, watching TV shows, movies, reading books. We would always discuss what to watch or read next. We loved shopping together, especially when we go to the home goods store, TJ Maxx, and would buy all kinds of interesting things that we really didn't need. We loved playing cards together, but it was not easy to play with her, as she was always screaming at me not to bend the cards. Trying to shuffle a deck of cards you can't bend is not an easy task. She always interested in who I was dating. In our last conversation, she said to me, Sydney, Dolly, that's what she called me, make sure you find a husband that looks like Barbara Streisand's husband. You know, the good-looking one. What is his name? Of course, she was talking about James Brolin, and my response was always the same, I'm working on it. When I got Ollie, my pup, he became Grandma's BFF, and she was always more excited about seeing him than about seeing us. She always said she wanted a pillow made of him to cuddle with. I love you, Grandma, and will always forever hold you in my heart. From Carly. Growing up, I was part of the ski club at school. Every week, my grandma would call me and tell me to save a seat on the bus for her, acting like she was going to come skiing with me, even though I was in Michigan and she was in Chicago. If we didn't touch base, she would leave me some voicemail reminding me to save her a seat. I have all those voicemails saved. That's incredible. As well as her wishing me luck every marathon. When I need motivation, I listen to the voicemail she left me before the Boston Marathon. My grandma was in a wheelchair the past 10 years, and every time I talked to her, she would tell me to run extra miles for her. So every time I run, Grandma, I will think of you and run an extra mile for you. From Jordan. Whenever I talked to my grandma, she would say, so tell me something new, Jor. I would tell her, and then 5 minutes later, she would ask me again. It became a kibitz. She was always my biggest cheerleader. When I came to school, she was always asking me if I was still in the same program and how my classes were going, and was fascinated that I am working toward a degree in food science, especially because she loved to eat. Every time I went to visit her, I baked her favorite treats from cookies to brownies to cakes. She loved it all. After Grandma became wheelchair bound, she was still living in Chicago. She made me a promise she would somehow find a way to get to Michigan and be at my bat mitzvah. I wished and wished, and wishes do come true. Her caregivers packed her up in a van, and there she was dancing at my bat mitzvah and making a 13-year-old's dream come true. Every time I bake or dance or create a new food product, I will be thinking of you and all the time we spend together. Grandma, we will always cherish all the time and memories we had with you. We will forever carry with us all the love and devotion you showed us and how much you enriched and blessed our lives. We are heartbroken that we will no longer be able to share a life with you, but know you will be watching over us in spirit, eating the cake, treats, sweets, coffee, Diet Coke, root beer, your heart desires. We love you beyond words, Grandma. We will miss you every day, but your memory will always live on in us, and we will hold you in our hearts forever. And Perry. The meaning of the word Vita is life, something my grandmother was full of. She was sharp, witty, and unequivocally the most glamorous woman I ever met. She had impeccable taste, from her immaculate home to her luxurious style. We didn't get to see each other as much as I would have liked, but our conversations never felt that way. She was a straight shooter, and I could always rely on her for a laugh. She would never ask for updates. She would only ever ask for updates about us and never spoke of herself. Not because there was nothing to say, but because she was selflessly focused on others. Her devotion as a wife, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother was undeniable. I remember growing up seeing how close she was with my dad and how much he admired her. He called her Vit, and they would chat every day. As the mother of a son, I can only hope that Isaac will have half the adoration for me that my dad had for his mom. It is no coincidence that her celebration of life is happening on the day of his passing. I know they are together and watching over all of us. As I get ready to welcome new life, or Vita, into this world and daydream about who my daughter will become, I am grateful knowing that part of Grandma, Vita's spirit, will live on through her. And lastly, from the grandchildren, Blake, Gran, and Lance. Not all grandchildren can say that their grandmother jumped off a moving train.
She really did. She jumped off a moving train. She and my father decided to jump off a moving train because they thought it was going to the end of the line.
Okay.
And they were stuck on it. She went back to get her book.
And she went back to get her book.
Yep, and they jumped off a moving train.
And Marcy confirms this to be true, for those who didn't hear her on mic. So I'll start and say the end of this is great from the grandchildren. Not all grandchildren can say their grandma jumped off a moving train unless their grandmother was a superhero. And our grandmother was truly a superhero. Not only did she jump off a moving train, and she lived to tell about it, she possessed superhuman strength. And I will just attest to that. Incredible woman. The three of us were with our grandmother every day while she lived in Chicago. While we were growing up, our grandparents lived in a neighborhood away. We were filled with so many memories of happiness, hugs and kisses, pet shops, Dunkin' Donuts, books, movies. Our memories are filled with holidays, traditions, and time together. Our memories are also tinted with sadness. of when our grandparents became sick, but with the happiness of knowing we brought them joy and helped take care of them in small ways as we children would. One of our rituals every Friday night was to light the Sabbath candles, Shabbat candles, say a prayer for Shabbat, and then add a personal wish of good health for our grandparents. Upon our papa's passing, we needed to alter our prayer, so we would say, "We give good health to Vita Lisnek, and we will always remember you, Papa." We called our grandma every Friday night. If we weren't in person, lit candles and said our prayer. Although our words became slightly altered, our hope and positivity were not. Today, once again, our words will change, but our hope and positivity remains. Our memories remain. Our love remains. Our tradition of lighting Shabbat candles will remain. As we continue to light Shabbat candles every Friday night, we will cherish and honor our memories, and we will say, "We will always remember you, Grandma and Papa." Well, I think that's what Cantor and I would call testifying, bearing witness to the impact that she had on all of your lives. Arden and Jay of blessed memory, Connie, Leslie, Perry, Carrie, Stacy, Eric, Sydney, Carly, Jordan, Marcy, Scott, Blake, Grant, Lance, offering our condolences to Sheila and Ellen. Not bad for an only child. You all became a tribe. I wonder if Anne and Albert would be proud to see the great community, truly a community, extended household of people that you became. She was that beautiful mixture of hard work, as you heard already. The jobs, a full house, the deliverer, the train, the cook. She wasn't a great cook, but loved to eat. 5:30 every day. You did like her chop suey and pepper steak, shoveling the snow, cutting the grass, doing the laundry. I don't know quite how she did it. I kept saying, "Wait, she did all of that? Did you help?" No, we did not help. We were not allowed to help. It was all about her. But not only was she a hard worker, they also had together this great artistic flair. The towels on the placemats, candy wrappers matching every candy dish. They were cultured. As you'd heard, Hollywood and fashion. He used to put out clothing for her every single day. They were friends with Debbie Reynolds and curated all the pictures and letters of the Hollywood crowd, loving movies. And she also supported her husband's artistic flair, being the framer herself, carrying the pictures. World travelers, such cultured people, Europe, cruises, Disney. And of course, not to forget that she was apparently a dog whisperer, always having a dog laying at her feet. She was a private person in a lot of ways. A lot of her story not necessarily told. As one of the grandchildren said, she did not like to talk about herself. She always turned it on you. But you knew her, even though she did not talk about herself. And these were her values that your family now tries to live. Treat everyone with respect. Treat everyone with respect, as she did. Be a giver. She was such a giver. Live life to the fullest, regardless of what is thrown your way. Superhero? Absolutely. This woman was strong and did not give in. Take care of the ones that surround you. She would want me to say, take care of each other. Take care of each other. That inner strength, that courage, that fortitude, that desire to serve, but to live with a flair. I asked you what she would say right now, what she would want me to say, and all of you said unanimously, she would say, I had a good life. I had a great life. I loved you very much. Please enjoy your life. And as you stay together, truly as a tribe that she and her husband built, have that good life and tell those stories and share those memories. And in that way, her life will always be for a blessing. Please rise.
שוכנה במרומים, אמצעי מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, עם הקדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, את נשמת חווה בת חנה ואברהם, שלחה לעולמה. בעל הרחמים יסיריה בצאתר כנפיו, לעולמים ויצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen.
Passionate God, eternal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Chava, to Vita, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence. Let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen. We say Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ol almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudasha b'richu, le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Go your way, for God has called you. Go your way, and may God be with you. May your righteousness go before you, and the glory of God receive you. We now offer the burial by putting 3 measures of earth upon the grave, and I also have earth from the land of Israel. If Scott, you and Marcy want to put this on behalf of your sisters, your children, sister-in-law. And I see you brought beautiful yellow roses. You can come up now to the other side. And 3 measures of earth.
stay so calm.
I'm actually okay that my life is so much.
Thank you very much.
The kids, they did it all.
Kind of easy to talk about it. It's all.